Bet.
Yeah. 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 Okay. I'm there. All right. Sorry. I lost the tab. I had it and then I lost it again. Jarrett knows. Jarrett knows the arc struggle
Stupid
sometimes.
ass arc.
No, it's great. We're not gonna sit here and slander it. It's great. Just every now and then loses its mind. All right. Start at. What are you gonna do for a cold open? Fonte, what you got? You've been off for 3 months, so give us something good.
I don't know.
Riveting.
No.
With that, we start the show.
No. Actually, Jared, y'all said some shit about me last week on the episode because Bell won a 600.
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I said it. I stood on it.
I could tell you was happy as hell when Bell engine got blown.
So oddly enough, I was kind of pissed off.
What?
I was kind of mad because he was the class of the Toyotas today, and the broadcast was hype. I wouldn't say they were hyping him, but they were saying like, "Oh, he's a car to beat. He's a car to beat. He's a car to beat." And then the last stage went how it went with all the pit stops and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, well, he's going to have to like actually earn this one. He's got to drive back to the front because nobody wanted to pit, to end the race." So it was crazy. Like he got there, and then like all of a sudden he just like loses everything. He lost it all, and he came on the radio. He was like, "I'm blowing up." I was like, "Oh, damn!"
Like, fuck.
I was like, "Damn," because he was This was one race where I was like, "Huh? Well, if Christopher Bell wins, he's a repeat winner. It helps Bubba. He'll win back to back. That'll be a storyline. That's great for Toyota. Give Toyota's momentum moving into Sonoma. Sweet, let's go for it." And then all hell broke loose again. So, for the first time all year, I was actually not excited about a Christopher Bell blowing up. So you're welcome. Growth. That's what they call it. That's growth.
The words I never thought I'd hear till today. You love to see it. No, but it probably happened.
We're capable of change.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Change, yeah.
Yeah, it was just a terrible series of events, but
yeah. This whole weekend was, to be honest, bro.
We about to talk about it.
Yes, sir. That's what we hear.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is former NASCAR driver Bill Lester.
I'm NASCAR driver Natalie Decker.
NASCAR's Chief Hype Officer Mamba Smith.
And you're listening to Victory Lane.
Victory Lane.
Victory Lane Vibes. Let's go.
376, Andron Brown is the Top Fuel champion.
About Raja Cruz, he's never led the field to green on a start or a restart, Michael. What a moment for him right now. His 30th truck start came up from the Arkham Menard series. Just praying for it. There it is. Raja Cruz wins it at Las Vegas. First career win, gets it done.
You stayed in the game, and it was just one step, one punch, one round at a time. And my guys had me a great stop, and we just executed. So there's more to come for sure.
His final time through 3 and 4. He's gonna do it. Bubba Wallace wins at Kansas.
What they gonna say now, baby? Let's go!
Championship record is equals. Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world.
Get in there, Lewis. What a way to do it, mate. What a way to win your 7th world title.
Welcome to another episode of Victory Lane Vibes. We are your hostesses with your... we are the hostesses.
What?
There's a reason why I tripped up, because I just saw this tweet from Gluck. But anyway, it's Jared. It's Art. Bonte's back. Say hi to the people, Bonte. Say hi to your fans.
Hello, I am back after a long hiatus.
Say hi to your
Don't roll your eyes.
Who's rolling their eyes?
You know, he's got that algorithm on lock. The show hit different when he on it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. But the reason why I tripped up over our introduction, from Mr. Gluck himself, NASCAR just put out the points report after this race. Kyle Larson is listed second in the points, but now shown with 0 playoff points. Last week, he was shown with 17 playoff points after the 600.
Wow.
So if you want to know why we ain't getting no answer on that waiver wire yet, they said bleep them.
Right.
I
You
said,
be all right.
But anyway, we'll get the cup in a second. There was some rain on both coasts. Well, so St. Louis is on the coast. It's in the middle of nowhere. But there was rain both places where NASCAR was playing this week, which resulted in some absolute television broadcast shenanigans. The truck race got delayed, which means that the truck race and the Xfinity race ran simultaneously, and you literally had to choose who you was going to watch. So we'll start with truck. That wasn't to anybody's surprise. It was Heim time for the 4th time.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Heim wins in worldwide technology. Sucks for Raja. Similar to how the cup race played out today. Long green flag runs. You let off your own devices for pit strategy. If you don't kick it off, it don't end up working. So Raj ends up 16th with a top 10 truck, just because he got mired a lap down and there were no cautions for him to catch back up. So, yeah, we'll just start there. The truck race. Thoughts, opinions, feelings?
The usual.
What's the usual? You ain't been on in 3
I
months.
don't even know if
You're
you can
talking
say the
about
usual, Bonte. You ain't been here.
That's
Ain't no
true,
usual.
but hey, y'all know how to track it. Y'all know how to package is.
So it was a dub. It was an L. Is that
I
the
give
usual?
I give it a neutral to me. No WL,
Ooh.
just neutral. Well, the race wasn't that bad. It was better than Cup. I would say that, in my opinion. That boy Heim is crazy though. Headed for Raj. Headed for my boy, but he'll rebound. But wasn't too bad. That's how I say. As much as I'm not a fan of the track, but hey, I see trucks be cooking a little bit. In my opinion, we got
Yeah, I was the opposite side. Like I had to pick between the two to watch, and I said I will pick Xfinity on a road course, 10 out of 10. So
Oh yeah,
I only had a chance to watch the highlights of this race, but I think the bigger highlight for me of this race was seeing Raj in the booth on Sunday. That was great. That's
yes, sir.
foreshadowing. But yeah, I'm happy for Corey. I mean, it seems like he's starting to run away with this thing. Yeah, I just feel like every other week it seems like he's a winner. I'm sure he's gonna have a nice, tidy, bundle of playoff points when it comes time to start that. So happy for him. And with all that charter talk, it's everyone saying that. Well, not everyone, but lots of people are saying that he's a front runner if 2311 gets a new charter. So if you're Denny and MJ, like this guy seems like a future candidate, for a C. He's doing everything right. He gets in the car, he gets in the truck rather, goes out there and wins on lots of different tracks, different types of tracks. So what more could you ask for? So happy for him. Hopefully they keep him in the Toyota family. I'd hate to find out he gets snatched by, Chevy or Ford. That would be a bummer, but good win for him.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up his performance when we get to Cup, because there's some similarities and some situations, and I'm gonna point it out to the people when we get there. You know what I'm saying? But as the rain delayed truck race was happening, there was a road course race over in Portland, and that boy Shane Van Gisbergen claims his long lost, it's
Yes,
about damn
sir.
time, first win in the Xfinity Series, dog walking them. And I say dog walking them because there were several lights too bright moments leading up to the finish. But we're a huge SVG fan on the show, so
Yes,
thank
sir.
God he won finally,
Man.
and celebrated the best way he knew how, drifting the entire length of the road course.
Oof. That was
Built
smooth,
different.
wasn't it?
That was built different.
What y'all think about the Xfinity race?
That was a good ass race. Excuse my language, but really good race. Not really. Well, no, I'm saying I'm not saying I'm not a real quick guy, but I really am. But that was beautiful racing. My boy SVG came through, said, "Hey, I got that." So y'all bad bag, and guess what? He got that. Built different. That wreck, that big one was kind of weird. Was it Brennan Jones' car was literally stuck on a damn wall and hard, and it was hard to get off. He like no one couldn't even do it. He had to do it himself. I'm like, oh lord. Then your boy Art Sam Mayer. I'm not gonna say he choked the top five, but
Ah,
but
I wouldn't call that a choke.
no, I don't want to call it a choke either. But I'll say lights too bright a little bit. But other than that, fantastic race. Happy for SVG to get the win and first time in the playoffs too. So welcome to the playoffs, my boy. And yes, sir, you already know I will be getting that diecast soon. So yeah.
Yeah, I think if VLV had a slush fund, I think Bonte and I would be siphoning off it for diecast.
You bet
Because
not.
I'm I'm gonna get the same one. Yeah, this race for me is a 10 out of 10. This is a must watch. If you didn't get a chance to watch this live or you didn't record it or whatever, if you can find it on YouTube or NASCAR Classics or somewhere and just sit down and watch the whole thing. Like it's not that long. It's maybe 2.5 hours or so. This was a fantastic race. Like absolutely fantastic. We always say Xfinity is great. I'm going to hit the button again as I do every week and say Xfinity gives me the best product every weekend. They continue to do so. And this track was just fantastic. I've only watched, I think, the race at Portland once last year, I want to say. So I'm not as familiar with the course as the road courses that you see in the Cup Series every year, but it just had everything you could want for it. It had speed. It had really excellent driving ability. You had some calamity, which is always nice. You had cautions, you had strategy. I mean, it really had everything you could ask for. The winner aside, yes, I would give this, maybe this is a 10.5 for me because SVG won, but uh, I mean, there were so many memorable moments in this race. You know, Sam, Shane, and Justin Allgaier going toe to toe with the last 5 laps to go or so was really great to watch. Sam had a bit of bad luck, scraped the wall, cut a tire, which is unfortunate. But Shane was a man on a mission. Like you could have just kept the camera on his car all race. I mean, he just is a master. Um, he's putting the car in at different angles that I'm watching other drivers not do and just gaining time and gaining car lengths in a corner. Like it's just so impressive to watch. I could just sing this dude's praises all day. And he did it with a lot of damage. I think both front fenders were knocked in. I mean, that car was pretty battered at the end. A lot of them were, but it was just fantastic racing. Sheldon Crean was up there. Brendan Jones, I think, was up there. Sam Mayer, like I mentioned, like there's just a lot of really good racing throughout the field. I mean, and with this car, it has the power to pass, which is crazy, right? The idea that cars pass during a race, just based off speed and not have to deal with air, like that's just such a foreign concept in NASCAR in this year of our Lord 2024. But yeah, I absolutely love this race. Shout out to Jesse Love's crewman who jumped on the hood with no regard for his own life and body. Like, bro, you're a real one. I hope they I don't know what you want, your pleasure of choice, but it was a case of beer or some pizza or something because you earned it for that. Like that's absolutely insane to me. And yeah, it was so fun to watch. Happy for Shane. I would have, if I was a betting man, I would have bet money on him going into this. And also I have to give a shout out to Allgaier. He came home second. He had a really good car and was really dominant for most of the day. I mean, if Shane isn't in this race, Allgaier probably wins it by like 7 seconds, probably. Like he was that much better than everyone else except the 97. So, it's like what did Raj say? It starts with one, and so this was his first one, Xfinity. I don't think it'll be his last one. I think he's just gonna get better at this. So, really good racing though. I mean, this is peak NASCAR racing. I cannot recommend enough to watch this race if you didn't. The highlights do not do it justice. Just just great. A++. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, definitely gave the highlight of the weekend. Well, I said that about 90% of this race we get ready to talk about was absolute butt cheeks until like the last 50 laps. But anyway, moving on to today's race. Yes, it is Sunday. We are recording after the race. We are here.
Yeah.
They were at the Cup Series was at Worldwide Technology. Michael McDowell started us off. Christopher Bell won stage 1. Christopher Bell won stage 2. It's the first time he did that this year, where he swept both stages and was pretty damn. He was locked to win the race until this pit cycle strategy played out. So in case you missed it, everybody went long. Well, now I take it back. Not everybody went long. So half the field pitted as scheduled. Brad ran long, Bubba ran long, and a couple other guys just to see if they could catch the caution and flip the running order, similar to how you would run a road course race. Well, old Seabell was burning them up, catching them until I lost power. I think I'm blowing up. And he was told to stop shifting and bring the car home, which he did. He still got a top 10 out of it. He finished 7th, but he didn't get a chance to win the race. Ryan Blaney passes him. Ryan Blaney's set sail. Then he backed off. He was getting ready to lap Daniel Suarez and Bubba. He was like, "Nah, I'm gonna just like hold the car. I'm gonna just save it." And then,
You ran out of gas.
It's empty. Flip the switch. It's empty, leading his teammate Austin Cindric to his second Cup Series win, locking himself in the playoffs. And that was the Worldwide Technology race. So we'll start there, and then we'll unpack. Vontae, what'd you think of the race?
Awful. Race was awful. Race was dog shoot. No passes. Barely any passes. Stupid long strategies. It sucked. I was hoping my boy Bell would get that dub. The ended said, nope, take your ass home. Dog Blaney had it, but Blaney Carr said, nope, take your ass home as well. It's insane, man. But happy for Cindric. First win since winning the 500 2 years ago. That race still pain. That's right. That race still in pain. Anyways, first win since the 500. So happy for him to get to be back in victory lane. Yeah, race was doo doo water, man. I'll be honest with you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not a fan of this track. I am not a fan of this track. Call me what you want. I don't care. I'm not a fan. I'm done.
All right.
And yeah, I appreciate how succinct Vontae was on that. I mean, I have to agree. This race was. I'm not a fan of this track as well. I fell asleep in stage 1, woke up at the stage break, managed to stay awake for the rest of it. I mean, I feel like this track is kind of the anti-Kansas. Like, it is all the worst parts of this car, right? Like, it's just so painful to watch. It's not close enough like a Martinsville, where at least you have the chance to maybe see a lot of contact and people move out each other out the way. It's too fast for that. But I mean, it doesn't feel fast enough for you to have at the moves like you see at some of these bigger mile and a half. So I'm very frustrated with today's Cup race. I felt like it did get a bit better after the 5 and the 8 wrecked. It was about 150 to go. It seemed like they got a bit more racy at that point. But even then, I mean, it gets so strung out. There was some strategy, which I will give credit for, and I don't mind a strategy race, but I'd rather have a strategy race at Pocono than I would at St. Louis. So yeah, this race kind of sucked for me. I hate it for Blaney. I really had like the tweet written out right as he came out of four, excuse me, waiting to hit send on it. And then disaster. And at first I thought he pulled a Mark Martin and he just thought that the white flag was the checkered flag and just pulled over like he did at Bristol, many years ago. And I was just like, oh no, like that's the last thing I want is like a driver I love to embarrass himself like that. And it wasn't that, he ran out of gas. But for Cindric, this is the second win where he's been Johnny on the spot, like it takes credit. I give you credit for being in this position to take advantage, because if you're running 17th and the leader runs out of gas, it does you no good. But if you're running second,
Nope.
like you have to be in position for it. So I give him points for that. But all in all, like this race was just kind of painful for me. Like there's just nothing exciting. It's one of those where you're looking at the clock and you're looking at your phone and you're wondering how long until it's over. It had a great turnout, which is great. I think we only go there once, I believe.
Yeah.
So that market, I'm
Good.
sure, was
Thank God.
that market, I'm sure, was happy filled with it. I know we knew a couple folks that were in the crowd, so I hope the fans that went got their money's worth and had a good show at least. Like, that's the one thing I always hope for when like the race is dog food on TV, is that the people that paid money to attend and spent the time at least got to enjoy it. But yeah, I mean,
Agreed.
there's nothing really to talk about, which makes this job kind of hard, because I just felt like, outside of Cindric winning, which we can talk about him in the playoff picture next, but not a whole lot really went on. Kyle Busch struggling. That's probably one of the only real storylines coming out of it. That 8 has been in trouble. When he said, "I suck as much as you" to Stenhouse a couple weeks ago, he wasn't too far off right now. And I don't think it's the driver's fault either, but Cindric got a good run. Denny finished second. Great run for him. He's been really locked in this year. Although I do think I'm looking at NASCAR now. This is the first race I think of the season he didn't lead laps in, so like that streak's over. But finished second with a bunch of points. So Carson Hocevar I'd want to shout out as well, because he had a great run coming back to where it all kind of started for him, right? Like he got the call up because Corey LaJoie got the call up for Chase last year and had a great running before blowing a brake rotor. Came back and got an 8th place finish. Like, for you to be a rookie in a car that by all accounts is not a tier 1 A+ car, like that's no small accomplishment. Like, he's just gonna get better.
And
then
doing better than Enjoy too. Is even more
I
crazy.
mean, that's not that crazy if you really want to think about
I'm just saying.
it. LaJoie had a tough day as well. 32nd out of
He'll be
36.
all right.
I mean, I'm looking at it. He finished last on the lead lap. He was 32nd. Everyone below him either wrecked or was laps down. But yeah, I think the real story of this is Cindric getting double fortune, right? Like it's like you got 2 winning lotto tickets back to back, because this was Christopher Bell's race to win. It was obvious by like the end of stage 1, it was Christopher Bell's race to win. And we've talked about him before. We give Bonte grief about being Bell, but this is a guy who I want to see win and do well. He's a good dude by all accounts. And they just had that car dialed in, and it could go anywhere. It could do anything. He drove back up through the field. He's probably the only car that could really drive up through the field. So that was impressive. And then, something went wrong with him, and it just as it was getting good, like we were all leaning in, getting excited for him and Blaney, because Blaney was holding his own against him, right? Like Blaney, to his credit, was fighting hard. And I thought he was just going to drive off by him. So it's like, oh, we're going to get 20 more laps of this. This is going to be great. And then it's like, oh, no, he blows up. Oh, well, at least Blaney will win. That's great. White flag. Oh, no, what? So like, these are the stars that have to align for Austin Cindric to get a win. Like the first and second have to blow up basically, or not finish for you to get it. But you know what? The trophy looks the same. It's still got his name on it, so you can't take that away. But yeah, if this was a race where I look at this track and I'm like, we could never come back here, and I'd be okay with it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, like, I know we've talked, and Jared's very biased because Richmond's his home track, about Richmond losing a date. I think we could take this and give it back to Richmond, and I think that's a net gain if we're being honest. I think the Richmond races have been much better than this, so I know they won't do it because it's a market that they're trying to stay engaged in, and I understand the logic of it. But from an on-track performance, this ain't it, bro. Like, this was not it for me. But we move on to Sonoma. We go out west. So I'm just kind of happy that it's over. This race was like a bad commute. Like, I'm just happy I pulled in the spot. I got out in one piece, and I'm walking in the door at this point. Like, it's just done. We don't have to think about it for a while, and we can move on.
Yes, it's crazy that you can definitely see the 20 team learned from their win in Phoenix, which is how dominant of a car they built for this race. The 1.5 mile package didn't do this track any favors. Clearly, they learned nothing from the tires they brought to North Wilkesboro because there was no tire fall off. And it's sort of like the same old song, like everybody gives, the short tracks grief. Everybody wants to pay blame to the track with the racing product that they put on, but it's not the track's fault. It's the car's fault. I'm definitely in agreement where if they don't come back to St. Louis again, give them another hiatus, serves them right. Just because NASCAR isn't taking any leaps and bounds to improve how the damn sport started, on short tracks. So even though I wouldn't technically consider this track short, it's 1.25 miles, but it races like a short track just because you slow way down in a corner. So it's it's frustrating. But definitely shout out to 20 team for still coming away with a good points day. Even though you didn't get the win, you still capitalized on all the points you could. Winning 2 stages and finishing 7th isn't a bad day at all. Like, it sucks, but you're good there. Shout out for Corley Joy doing exactly what he did last year. Absolutely selling. He sold in the 9. He sold in his own car this year. Carson outperformed him 2 years in a row. So shout out Carson Hocevar. You make a great. Carson makes a huge point as to why everybody's thinking that if 2311 gets an opportunity to purchase a third charter, they put Heim in the car, because you can clearly see there's more similarities between the truck and the Cup car as opposed to Xfinity. Like, Xfinity's own thing. Like, I know we've talked about that more than once on this show, but if Carson took his truck success and is bringing it to Cup, throw Corey in the car now. Don't wait till Nashville. Do it now. And just see. So I'm hoping that NASCAR can get something done in regards to that. Now I'll speak on more about the charter situation here in a second, but just going back to the race today, there were comings and goers. I have no idea what happened to Michael McDowell. He was running away, it seemed like, stage 1, and then he was nowhere to be found. So I don't know if they had a bad pit stop or he got a speeding penalty or what happened to him, but he definitely did not capitalize on his starting position today. So it just goes to show, sometimes the shop does it right, and then the people at the track, they messed the damn race up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think McDowell was a victim of kind of the same thing that I think happened to the 23, where they started with great track position and they were, for like the 23 at least, McDowell was way ahead, but when they had that first pit stop where like half the field came down, they were way too far ahead to pull in. So like the first 10, 12 cars don't come in. And after that, like they just were behind the 8 ball in terms of the pit strategy, and just couldn't get caught up. And I think I want to say they ran long at least once. And, once you commit to running long once and it doesn't work, you're kind of screwed at that point. Like, you're constantly playing catch up. And that's happened to him again. Like late in the race, he was like 4th place or something, with like 20 to go, but he had to pit. Like, he couldn't make it. And so after he pitted, he dropped like a rock. And this track was just very unforgiving if you didn't nail the pit strategy, or if you were Christopher Bell. Like, if you're Christopher Bell, you could do whatever you want. You could just come down and take 4 every time, and you just drive back up to the front. And one thing I just wanted to touch on when you were talking about that made me remember the Phoenix run. I'm gonna say now, I'm gonna put it on the record. If Bell gets to Phoenix, I think he can win it. I think if he gets there, I think it's a wrap, because they were really good there, and they were really good there last year too before they blew up. And the brake rotor turned into a Krispy Kreme donut. So
wow. Oh man, that hurt, bro.
So I think, yeah, if he gets back there, I'm gonna go ahead and make my pick now. If he gets there, I think he gets it done. Which would be I'd be happy for him. Like I have nothing against this guy. By all accounts, he's a good dude, does things the right way. So, um, yeah, I'm putting it now because they figured something out that they're not sharing with the other uh Gibbs cars, and the other Toyotas. Like the other cars are great. Like don't get me wrong. Like Denny ran well, Truex ran well till he had some trouble. Like the other cars, Ty ran pretty well, like top 15 most of the day. So like it's not like they were all terrible, and he was the only one that was good. But he's got something that the balance of something. I have no idea, but they put that file under lock and key, and they are not sharing that in those competition meetings. They're just going to sit there with their palms turned upward and shrug. But yeah, if he gets back there, I think he gets it done. So if he made it, that'd be a great story, some redemption after last year's very heartbreaking finish for him.
Yeah, it takes we talk about it that it as much as this car is trash, it's really hard to win at the cup level. And you saw 2 or 3 instances of that today in this race. So you have to not only be, right place, right time, but you also have to put the complete package together. I had put a tweet out saying that Austin Cindric got, a Mickey Mouse win, but to Art's point, you can't get the win if you already aren't up there to capitalize off of somebody who's been having some mistakes. So it's funny. Shout out Peyton. He's in our group chat. He brought up a good point. With Penske, they're a championship winning organization, but they never perform like they're a championship winning organization during the regular season. They go through the same trials and tribulations as all the other teams, and then it's like right place, right time. They know how to turn the wick up when when the money's on the line, and they're able to close out their year with the big trophy and the big check. So I'm
Ain't
interested to see how the 2 cars performance, um, how that car looks the rest of the year since they already got their win. I'm interested to see how their strategy on track and their setups, and see if they're going to be the test car since they're surprisingly in the playoffs. So we'll see. Bonte, you wanted to add something else?
no, I'm about to say, ain't didn't Jimmy Johnson did the same thing? Like he was a little bit slow than the early season, but like later on, the big moments, he got that big championship.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like if you're a multi-car organization, a win seemingly solidifies you in the playoffs unless we get 16 different winners. Um, you kind of sort of have to, not only for your sake of your performance, later on in the season, but also your teams as well. If you can figure out something in your car that you can pass on to a car that needs to win, why not? That's something that
Yeah.
I'm hoping for, that they can do over at Airspeed with Bubba. If the 45 is doing something different than the 23, they need to copy the clipboard and do the copy and paste in the data files on the computer, so we can get Bubba a win as well, and get him locked in. So um, with that, I guess that'll we can segue into 2311 corner. Tyler finished 4th.
Yeah.
Yep. He
Saying yes without
Tyler
looking.
finished 4th. Bubba finished
Yes.
21st. Like we talked about, Bubba they had to go long. They went long. What was it? That was in stage 2, didn't
Way
it?
too long. No, it was H3.
Well, I know in stage 2 they went long to sort of catch back
Yeah.
up, but they went long
Early. I
early.
want to say it was stage 2.
It had to be stage 2. Yeah, they went long
It
stage
had to be
2.
stage 2 because I
But
watched it. I
but
didn't fall asleep.
Right.
but they
Yeah.
but they went longer in stage 3.
Yeah, I mean they
Yep.
had to
But
at that point.
yeah, they had to at that point. But in
But
stage
the
2, when they
stage
went
2
long, it
run is
sort
what
of,
put them
that's
in the
what
spot.
set them up for being in the back. And then Bubba was able to get his lap back from the Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch incident. He was able to take the wave around, and then he couldn't do anything on old tires, and then he couldn't do anything to get it back because he got stuck behind the squirrels, and he couldn't make any moves while he had fresh tires, and ended up just falling into the mid 20s. So Just had to go long to get back the track position and just hope that they could fall into a caution to keep them up front and then try and do it again. But like you see a lot of these times on these sort of tracks, if you already know it's a tire strategy game that you're playing, you sometimes it don't always work. So I mean, I don't know really and I guess y'all can add into this. So we talked about how the race shop prepares the car, qualified well. Bubba started 8th, so the shop gave us speed. He mentioned in his interview during qualifying that the car was a tick tight. So going into the race, he just to see what happened. I'm guessing weather played a huge part in that. It was probably a lot hotter today than it was yesterday during qualifying. And the car was way looser than anticipated, and the right adjustments weren't made to keep it with the track, leading them into making the decision to go long and leading Bubba into the position where he finishes 21st. So, because of that, looking at the playoff standings right now, he is plus 40. He's 15th right now in points. So on the plus side of the cut line, which is good, but still leaves a lot more to be desired. I feel like just because we gotta get a win, I feel like this may be a year where we're gonna actually get some of that parity that it's been mentioned and talked about. So we gotta find a way to get the 23 car in victory lane before Daytona. Has got to happen soon. There's a couple more tracks that he's decent.
And then not only that, we got to make remember Logano and Bush is out the playoffs. Them both East. So we gotta keep a lookout on that and fight to keep our position to fight for the playoffs.
Yeah, because you know that the 22 is going to be a lock for a win.
Same with Bush as well.
Yeah, like I know. Well, I don't know. I'd like to say
I don't
Kyle
know
Busch
about
is a
that
lock
one.
for a win, but after
You
today's
y'all. I'm saying
performance, I can't.
y'all would say y'all don't know,
Can't say
but
it. I
yeah.
can't give it to him. It's just he now granted he wasn't running bad before he got hit by Larson, but I just think with the performance that they've shown this year, he doesn't have a race winning car. I mean, hell,
I don't know.
Austin Hill, not Austin Hill. What's his teammate name?
Century.
Oh no,
Oh,
is it
Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon?
Oh,
Finished 7th today. So
ew.
somewhere in RCR, their speed is just not on his car. So, like I said, they got a lot to figure out at the shop to see why he doesn't have the performance.
I'm not gonna count him out because it's Kyle Busch, KFB. Hell, he could win like New Hampshire and stuff. So I'm not gonna count him out because it's Kyle Busch. Same with Logano too. So we just gotta keep a lookout on that. That's it.
It's crazy that first Penske car one was also in Centric this year. That's
all right.
All right, let me get my 2 cents in here. So yeah, my concern meter for the 23 is at a solid 7.5 out of 10. Not a 10 out of 10. I'm not I don't think the boat's on fire, but I think there's some concern to be had. Because to Jared's point, there are a lot of really good drivers out here that still haven't gotten wins. And I am very leery about this team's ability to point their way in. They have weeks where they're great at getting stage points this year, which is amazing. I appreciate that. I appreciate the growth, the development, because that was not the case last year. Last year, it seemed like they never got stage points. They're always like 12th or 11th. And this year, they're having some. And the stage points are what keep them a minute, honestly. Like, if it wasn't for that, they'd be in big trouble. But, I'm looking here. Ty Gibbs could get a win. Ross could get a win. Busher still doesn't have one. Logano. I mean, these are good drivers that haven't gotten anything. So, I just feel like you're gonna have to find a win somewhere. And first I'll get this out the way before I get too deep. I'm happy for Tyler because some people think I don't like Tyler Reddick for some reason. I don't know why. He got a good win. He rallied. Great job keeping the lights on. Like Tyler's the parent right now that's got like the medium steady income, and he's like, I'm paying the bills, I'm keeping it on while you like try to hustle to make your dream happen. And right now, my dream is for Bubba to get a win, but Tyler's keeping the lights on, so I appreciate that because you need that. But for Bubba, like I'll say this again. We said on here before, like this car and this team, like there's something that's amiss here, and I don't know what the problem is. The folks at the shop are sending them good cars every week. It seems like they're in the top 10 of qualifying. They're going in round 2 of qualifying, which is fantastic. That's a great step up from last year. But as soon as they get on the track, as the race goes on, they're sliding further and further. And if you follow Phil or Sarah, who do like the Bubba race audio on Twitter, like they quote him or whatever, like it's always the same thing, like we're way too loose, we're way too tight. They're like they're never really balanced. And when they are, they can make good runs. I think at Charlotte they had some good balance for a while. And the strategy just isn't there, and the adjustments just aren't there. And I know, like, no crew chief gets it right every time. I'm not claiming that they have to, but it's been a consistent issue with this team the last year and a half to where they're unable to keep up with the track. I know we've talked about it here probably at least 4 or 5 times at least, but it's a bit concerning. I would say there were periods last year, the first half of the season, where Bubba was an issue. Like he was not as consistent in the car. And there have been periods the entire time at 2311 where the 23 pit crew was not as consistent as they had to be. And that was a big problem. Well, those two problems have pretty much sorted themselves out for the most part. I'm not going to sit there and say that either of them are perfect. Like even the pit crew had a little bit of a slower stop today under green. I missed it because of Fox, but whatever. And Bubba's not going to be perfect. Like no driver is. But those two parts of the equation have gotten really, really solid, which is great. But the problem is the folks making the calls on the adjustments and the strategy about when to pit, what to pit for. It's just not meshing well to get good results. And I'm not saying it's for a lack of effort. I'm not saying I want anyone to lose their job or anything, because I never want that. But like that is the biggest area of friction for this team right now. And if I'm a driver, I'm a pit crew, like I'm really frustrated. Look at it today. They ran 4 laps longer and they ended up getting trapped a lap down. It ruined their whole day because you playing catch up. And I'm sorry, but there isn't going to be a day where you can have these kinds of mistakes and just drive back through the field, right? With this car, like it's just not going to happen. You don't have the horsepower to do it. It's too hard to pass, yada, yada, dirty air is awful, yada, yada. So like these calls have to be perfect. I don't think right now 2311 it can produce a car that's as dominant as like Christopher Bell's was today, right? And that's like the only car that could overcome those kinds of mistakes. So if you can't make, and it's not a knock on them, I think only like Gibbs or Hendrick can probably produce a car that's that dominant that we see every couple of weeks where they come out and they just absolutely nail it.
RFK
But like,
as well. Don't forget about them.
I mean, they've been
Sorry,
great,
cut you
but
off.
they have not. But they haven't had like a dominant car where like you watch it and you're like, oh,
That's
they're
true.
by
That's true.
far the best in the field. That's what I mean. Like they're getting wins, and that's not a knock on them. But there's no week where you're like, oh, they're gonna dominate the race. Like there's been weeks where Larson just dominates at like a Vegas or something, and it's like, oh, that car's just way better than everybody else. So until you can do that, you have to nail these strategy calls. And until they do, like it's just shooting themselves in the foot. And any good progress they make, it's just thrown out the window. So I'm just very frustrated by that. I thought they probably could have, I don't even know what kind of car they could have, honestly, because it seemed like they never could get the adjustments right. And, I know they said the weather was really different and etc. But like, I know this is obscenely difficult and I have no idea how to do this. I'm putting that disqualifier out there. Like I have no idea how to do this. I only know how to change tires and put oil and do an oil change. Like I'm not a race car engineer or anything, but there has to be a way for this team to figure it out, because all the other teams can figure it out, right? Like 24 can figure it out, the 5 can figure it out, the 18 can figure it out, the 11 can figure it out. Like it's not a and I don't think the people in the 23 are lazy or dumb by any stretch. I don't think that, but like you have to find a way to be prepared for those situations and make the right calls. Like you have to. I'm sure they have like notes on what to do if it's 40 degrees hotter, 40 degrees colder, whatever in between. So, um, I really need to see that to improve before I feel like this team can even be a threat for a playoff or for a win, because very often they're not in the running late. You know, like there aren't many races where they're in second or third or leading stage 3. You know, like maybe early on in a race if they had a great qualifying effort and they, qualified top 5 or something. But if they're ever leading, it's because like the pit cycle and they're running long. So like we are not even in position to get there yet. So I need to see that improve, and I really hope it does. Like I want to believe this team is good enough to as a whole, as a collective whole, because the two problems that I thought were going to be potentially the sinkers are now pretty solid. Like I said, they're pretty much ironed out. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm still at that solid like 7.5. It's been creeping up because that big points bubble they've gotten over the cut line has been getting smaller and smaller and smaller over the last couple of weeks. They did a great job at Charlotte getting a bunch of stage points, but unfortunately they couldn't get the finish. That's due to rain, whatever. But we're getting close. Like we're getting closer to that cut line, and I don't want us to be flirting with it like we did all summer last year.
Mm-hmm. It's frustrating, bro.
Yep.
So just to put in perspective what Art's mentioning here, Sonoma, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nashville, the street course in Chicago, Pocono, the Brickyard, Richmond, Michigan, Daytona. There's not a lot of chances to get it. 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 10 races. This is race 16. We got 10 left.
You figure
Daytona.
You figure maybe Iowa, New Hampshire. He runs well, but I mean, other dudes run way better.
Right.
It's not a knock on him, but like
it's a Toyota track, but he's not going to be the strong Toyota there.
Right. Like, I mean, Denny and Bell, I picked them by miles over him at that track. Nashville, maybe, street course, no. Pocono, maybe.
He runs well at Pocono. He ran well at Indianapolis the last time they were there. He's had a race, has had a race winning capable car at Richmond. They gave away Michigan last year, and by the skin of his Luke Combs' teeth, they made it in Daytona. So
don't forget Darlington as well, because Darlington's this last race.
Oh yeah, and Darlington. All right, so you have 17 chances. Thank you for reminding me of that, Bonte. I forgot the Olympic break throws everything off. So for the first time,
I'm gonna say he's
in
got
years. Darlington is the. Go ahead, Art.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm gonna say, I think if my math is right, we've got 11 races to go. 9 of them I could see. I'm sorry, 8 of them I can see is a potential win. But like Sonoma, I don't. Obviously, New Hampshire, I mentioned I don't.
Y'all crazy.
Chicago street course, I don't see him winning. I'm not saying I expect him to be, 33rd out there, but I don't think he's gonna have
y'all
winning.
crazy. You crazy.
I mean, I think it's gonna come down to like Michigan and Darlington. I really do. I think Richmond could be good to him, but I mean, he's been good there. But like again, like you look at like a Denny, he's been better. But like I think Michigan, he could get it done. Darlington would hit different if he could win. Walk off win to get in the playoffs at Darlington of all places.
No, they want that. That's too
much stress. Hang on. The former Southern 500 with the Rebel flag all up in the brochures back in the day, like that wouldn't hit different. That'd feed me for a while.
Wins that would hit different.
Right.
I'm circling Iowa.
And then not only that, that's a crown jewel win too in Darlington. So hey,
I'm circling Iowa. I'm circling Nashville. I'm circling Pocono. And I'm putting in big, bold Sharpie, Michigan. Michigan probably he runs well at all of these tracks coming up. I don't know why everybody's counting him out for Sonoma. He's going to have a top 5 car at Sonoma. I think he can do that.
I'll give it like a
I'm
top
putting money. I'm putting money on
10.
top 5 for Bubba.
Can you
In
just give it
Sonoma.
to me? Can you give me that
Nah,
money?
I'm giving it to FanDuel. I'm walking away with Rex. Just because people doubt the time he's put in to improve his racecraft on road course races. If there's a race where they can go in points mode and let's get these points, he's going to get these points at Sonoma. We got it. It's a wrap. Like I said, and then I'm just circling big, bold tip Sharpie, Michigan. He can win in some of the other races before they get there, but they let that win go last year. He has to win Michigan. I want P1. I want all 3 stage wins in the race checkered flag. He's got to stump them out at Michigan. Like that has to be the race where he drags his nuts across the competition and say, I'm back. He has to. He has to. You better not censor that. You better leave it in there. He has to drag his nuts on the competition at Michigan. They can do it. I don't know what it is. Like they said last year they had to come to Jesus meeting. Well, what's the problem now? You got that brand new race shop. This is DEFCON 5. For
Better
me,
find religion real quick.
For me, this is DEFCON 5. Like, I know you're not stressed, Art, but this is the summer stretch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, it's
let me
hot.
be clear.
The car drive different. Tempers get raised. People get pissed off easily. Like, you have to bring it in the summer. You have to. We got to go. It's crunch time.
I mean,
But I'm not taking it. We got to
the
go.
only reason I'm at a 7.5 is because of the ratio of tracks, like I mentioned. Like I said, I think 7 to 8 out of the next 11 tracks between now and the cutoff can be good to him. I'm not saying they will be or won't be. I'm saying they can be good to him. Now, if we get to, we get to Richmond and like he's still in the same position, where it's like, oh, I'm like 13 points from the cut line. That's what I'm at a 10 out of 10. Because like then you're going like Michigan, there's so much pressure on that. And I remember us talking about that race on here last year.
I'm putting
and I was like, oh, they gotta cook it up, they gotta chef it up, all that.
We cheated. I need tape where the stickers go for the headlights. I need it all.
Mm-hmm.
I need all of it. I need a wonky scheme where the scanner gets thrown off, the Hawkeye can't figure it out. I need it all. I need it. But yeah, that's 2311. We right there, let's do it. Come on.
Yeah, gotta get better because it's crunch time.
It's crunch time, baby. Come on.
And just to put a bow on it, like if I'm Tyler, I'm looking at like the Sonoma, Chicago, maybe even Indy, I don't know, but like these are just chances to like stack up some stage points, like build that bank, build that piggy bank, because you never know what it's going to come down to once you get in the playoffs. And the playoffs line up really well for him as well. I wonder how like he'll do at like a Watkins Glen. I don't know his like historic performances there, but like
he ran fantastic last year.
Okay, so then like there's plenty of tracks that in like each round that bode well for him. Like Kansas, Vegas, Miami. So like he could easily point or win his way through to Phoenix. I think that's a very possible outcome. They just have to be clicking.
Which is why you need to win now
when it comes time. I mean, look, if there is a reasonable amount of money I could just pay for Bubba to win at any of these tracks and be in the playoffs, I'm happy to pay it. Like, I just want to win. I just want a dub for my man. I want the dub for the culture. Like, I need it. I need it bad. But, I'm not putting money down on top 5 at Sonoma.
Hey, I'm putting
top
my money
12.
on y'all.
Look, if you said top 12,
ride with me. We get in the top 5 in Sonoma. We top 5 in Sonoma, bro. We top 5.
Y'all write this down and tweet us if you put money, if you follow Jared's bet, because we want to know.
5ing Sonoma _ sneakerhead _ I'm posting the ticket. I'm putting money on it. We're gonna get this money. With that, it's time for Lights Too Bright.
Those lights were brutal.
Oh man.
All right, y'all. I got two, and it's the same person, Kyle Larson. Now, here are my reasons why. I'm going different. You thought I was going to say Corey. Corey deserves it. I'm going to give it with Kyle. So, Kyle, you wrecked out the other Kyle because you lost control of your car. It's astounding to me how people glaze this man, say he's the best ever. He the second coming of Jesus. Can't nobody touch him. He the face of the franchise, face of the sport. But if you don't have the car that gets you out in front by 4.5 seconds, you don't do too good, my boy. You washed up, got loose, wrecked Kyle Busch, ended his day, and you were just able to still gallivant your little self up. I think he finished. He got a top 10 today, didn't he?
Who?
Larson.
No, he didn't get a top. He came top 10. Sorry, yes, he came in 10.
Larson got a top 10. So like you wrecked Kyle Busch and got 10. So
play with it.
In the words of Vontae, I guess. But then the second part to the lights too bright, like I said, what old Gluckster said, they no longer showing he has any playoff points. So if this comes to be true, Mr. Larson, and they tell you hell no on your waiver request, I personally feel like, and this is gonna raise I'm gonna get some hate. We gonna get some angry reacts to this. I see where NASCAR is standing. It seems to be. You made a conscious choice. You stayed in Indianapolis instead of coming to Charlotte. That decision lands you out of the playoffs. The rules state you got to start all the races to qualify for the playoffs. You had an opportunity to leave Indianapolis, give up running 500, just try again next year, come to Charlotte, run your 600 kilometers, and you'll be fine. However, you made the choice to stay. You never got a chance to get in the car, and it's murder she wrote. So a lot of people have been talking about this subject thing like, oh, just give it to him. But what if they don't want to just give it to him? What if they want to set the precedent? You can run the 1100. You can try the double if you want to, the triple if you really feel like it, if you got a supersonic jet. By all means, do so. However, if you have a scheduling conflict and you don't have the opportunity to be everywhere you need to be in order to accomplish the goals that you have, you need to choose the series where you're competing for a points championship. For Kyle Larson, that's the NASCAR Cup Series. So if NASCAR stands on business, I think it's deserved. Kyle Larson gets my lights too bright.
Okay. Well, in the spirit of your lights too bright, I'm gonna go next then. And my lights too bright absolutely goes to NASCAR officials, the people up in Charlotte, whoever runs the show, the people who are in charge of this whole waiver kerfluffle and are dragging their feet, their toes, and their heels on this. This is stupid. Like, I'm sorry, this is just a stupid talking point, and you didn't have any problem promoting this all year for a full year leading up to this race.
The paint schemes got revealed a year early.
We got the paint schemes. You got the die cast, the double pack. Lionel keeps emailing me about these qualifying sets. I got at least a half dozen emails for these cars from Lionel. You had no problem promoting it. And the idea that now you want to get your boxes in a bunch because, oh, well, he was late, he didn't start the race or whatever. This is so stupid. If you're going to give someone a waiver for wrecking someone intentionally, for doing something that by your letter of the law is illegal in this sport, you penalize them, send us behind home, you give him a waiver. You're going to go and give this same man, mind you, a waiver for snowboarding. Last I checked, these race car drivers, they're not in the X Games. Ain't no X Games competitions in these HMS contracts, last I checked. You're going to give him a waiver. Kyle Busch gets injured. 2015. I know Carl's listening right now. He's probably cussing a storm at me right now. This bum misses 2/3 of the season, comes back and gets to win a championship. You gave him a waiver. Now,
why you gotta be a
one of
Now
these
hold
things,
on, wait a minute, hold on.
one
I
of these
gotta
things,
stop you.
he's not.
I gotta stop you.
If you missed 2/3 of the season, you're a bum. You don't deserve to be competing for a championship. I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
Anyway,
What?
I'm
No, you
moving
forgetting the
on.
extra limitations that NASCAR put on him to get there. He
I
had
He
to
don't
has
care.
to
point
be in the
up.
top 30
It's
points.
stupid.
He had to
It's
point up.
Top
stupid.
30
He had to
points.
win races
It's
to
stupid.
qualify. It was
You
earned
And
shouldn't
guess
in
what he
qualify.
did?
Shut
He
up, Kyle.
won 4 races and won back
It
to
doesn't
back.
matter.
You
Yeah,
can't
It
do
doesn't
that.
You
matter.
can't do
If
that.
your
You
if
can't
your
do it.
whole point is that you have to try and make every race or whatever, the idea that I can miss months of the season.
He got injured in the car though, bro. He got
Right.
hurt in the
I
car.
He
understand
came
that.
back in
I
May.
understand. Hey,
Did it
look,
in his
bro.
race.
I feel for you. Look, God bless
That's
up. I hope you
crazy,
come back.
bro.
You
But like,
wild.
you don't deserve to compete for a championship if you miss the. Can you imagine if I was the freaking Patriots and I was like, hey, I know it's week 1, but our jet don't work. We're not going to no games. We're not doing nothing. But if you beat these teams by 50
What?
points, we'll let
That's
you
not the
compete for the
same.
championship.
That's
It
that
doesn't make you have to compete at
that's
least in the
okay.
majority.
He
There has to be a 51% rule. Like, you got to
no,
compete at least 51% of the race.
he has to be in top 30 points in order to be in the
I
playoffs, and
don't
that's what he
care.
did.
All the rules.
I don't care about the
How does
point
you don't care? That's the rules though.
because
The
And no,
the
rules at
whole
the
point is
time
that
stated
the whole
that
point of racing is okay. So by that logic, then I could go out there, I could win the first
he
10 races of the season, get a big ass points lead, and just take the summer off. I can be out at Monaco chilling on a
you
jet
can't take the
on
summer
a
off. You got to get
thing.
hurt.
right.
You got to break your leg.
That's so stupid. So,
No,
anyways,
it's
as I was
not.
saying,
It's not because he won
it
4 races
doesn't
before the.
matter.
You can't
What's the
say because
point?
it mattered because he had to be in top
It
30
doesn't
points. He
matter when
followed
you
the
miss almost the whole
how if he
season.
followed the rules
No.
are.
Now, here we go.
Okay,
Let's
listen,
talk
I'm
about
not blaming.
it.
Listen, hang
No, let's
on.
talk about it.
Stop so I can finish.
No, let's talk about it.
Stop so I can finish. Or I'm about
Yeah,
to mute you. I'm about to mute you.
good. So it.
I'm trying. So I'm not blaming Kyle for this. He did nothing wrong. My issue is with the idiots upstairs who made the rule. My issue is not with any of these drivers for the actions that they took, except for Chase Elliott hooking Denny. Like, that's a bad look. But like, I don't blame you for breaking your ankle or whatever it was, his leg or whatever. But if you're going to tell me that all of these reasons, both in the car and out of the car, are reasons to give someone a waiver, the fact that we're still talking about this a freaking week later is so asinine to me.
No, it's not.
This man is doing something that you signed off on. Because I guarantee you, listen, everyone, I guarantee you that NASCAR and HMS talked about this 2 years ago. I guarantee you. I would bet so much money with each of my listeners if they wanted to on this. They talked about this. So the idea that we're sitting here still talking about this a week later and you don't want to give this man a waiver for the playoffs. Like, I am not a Kyle Larson ultra uber fan. Like, we all know this. Like, I think he's very talented, but I'm not sitting up there with any Larson shirts and hats on Sundays. But the fact is that this was something that was done and agreed upon, and it benefited your sport. I guarantee you that a whole bunch of people at IndyCar who didn't give a crap about NASCAR were silly entertained by the fact that this guy's going to do the double. It hasn't been done in 15, 20 years or whatever. Now, it didn't work out because of weather. Like, you can't help that. But the idea that we're going to sit here and act like this is something bad, like, the only reason Chase shouldn't have got a waiver for hooking Denny. That to me is like the most egregious waiver given.
Yeah, I agree
because
with.
if you do that, that tells me the precedent is set then that you can do pretty much anything outside of like get a speeding ticket in the real world, beat your spouse, do drugs, like something like that. But if you do something in the car or in the car related, we'll give you a waiver. Sure, no problem. Why? And if I'm HMS and if I'm Kyle Larson, I'd be Richard Petty 5,000 because I tell you what, you don't give me this waiver, I'm sending him to IndyCar. I'm sending him to F1. I'm sending him to every dirt track in the middle of bumfuck nowhere for the rest of the season with HendrickCars.com on the side of it. Be like, you don't want him to play? All right, we're out. We're out, bro. Like, I'd be so petty. Like, okay, this is gonna put egg on your face. Like, this sport has so many big problems. Like, big problems. We still ain't figured out this whole charter thing. It's June. It's supposed to be done like at the start of the season. We ain't got that figured out. but y'all got time to sit here and debate this whole waiver situation. You know, we still got a car that runs like hot ass on 2/3 of the schedule, but you don't have time to worry about that. You worried about this stuff, TV deals, all this. It's just, it's so stupid. I'm sorry, it's stupid. Like, if you either have the rules in place and in writing that says these things qualify for a waiver, these don't. And if you don't have that written down on paper, not in your head, not in a meeting, it has to be written and signed in paper. If it's not there, then it doesn't exist. And it just pisses me off because, like, we're once again, we're sitting here looking stupid. Like, we as a sport look so stupid about this. And like, look, if you want to, after this, say in moving forward, these are what we'll give waivers for, whatever, fine. I mean, you're making yourself into an idiot by not allowing your drivers to do the double. But look, it's your party. You can cry if you want to. Like, if you don't want the ratings, that's fine. But I just, again, like, you've got something very easy. It's such an easy way. Like, this is the ultimate layup, right? This is the layup on like the little kid 2-foot goal where you like dunk on your nieces at the birthday parties. Like, it's that kind of layup. And you're just like, nah, I'm just not going to take it. Like, let's just move on with our lives, please. Like, we all need to move on. And it's just such a stupid thing. And this isn't, this isn't Cody Ware out here. Like, this is literally one of the most recognizable guys in the sport.
So Cody Ware is not deserving of a NASCAR waiver,
right?
Absolutely. Cody Ware shouldn't be in a NASCAR car at all. We won't keep it 100. Like, I mean,
big fact.
We won't talk about Cody Ware. Like, Cody Ware belongs somewhere, and it ain't a racetrack. I'll put it that way.
I ain't gonna say it.
I got something for you.
Yeah, how Cody Ware in a race car, but we can't give Kyle Larson a waiver?
Eric Jones got a waiver from his wreck. Does he deserve it?
Yeah.
Kyle Busch doesn't deserve a waiver for him breaking his leg and winning a championship. Does Eric Jones deserve his for breaking his back? He got his black bone out.
What do you mean depends?
Hey, yo. It depends on how long you're out. Depends on how long you're out.
Chill. All right, so
bro, like, you can't miss 2/3 of the season, bro.
You out of the first 11 races.
Let's talk about now. Let's talk about now. It's over. So you mentioned that it needs to be black and white as in regards to what qualifies for a waiver or not. While there may be gray area on that subject, NASCAR is extremely clear about what you have to do as a driver, as a team, and as an organization to qualify for their playoff system. Kyle Larson did not. And I guess the proof, the telling proof in all of this, it really doesn't matter, but it kind of does to me. The Hendrick Motorsports Twitter, when the rain delay was announced in Indianapolis, they tweeted out that Kyle Larson has made the decision to stay in Indianapolis and drive the 500. And they said it in such a way where it was almost like the social team was salty that he didn't hop on his plane and come back to Charlotte. It's like they already knew the writing on the wall, because they did know the writing on the wall. This would be, yes, did NASCAR make money off this? IndyCar make money off this? The press, the pictures, the testing, the paint schemes, the die cast, the T-shirts, the foam fingers, the whole 9 yards. Was NASCAR profitable of all of this? Absolutely they were. However, they said what the rule was, you need to bring your ass back. He didn't bring his ass back.
We don't know that the rule is, because if you've already had discussions to say that you're going to give someone a waiver, then it would be a mute point.
That's the thing. They
we
never said that they were.
Well, we don't know if that's a conversation that was happening behind closed doors.
We don't. However, in a perfect world, the way that Motorsports Day lines up, there's more than enough travel time to complete both activities, barring no weather delay. I'm sure that everything would have been fine had there been no weather delay. The reason as to why I feel like this is such a big thing is he had a conscious decision to make. Indy 500, Charlotte 600. There was no way he could do both. He was going to be late to one. Obviously he was. And that's why we're talking about it. So I think that's the issue that NASCAR has an issue with. You had time to make it to Charlotte on time and start the race. You decided to stay in Indianapolis, and I feel like for that decision alone, that's why I think they'd be like, no waiver for you, unless a lawsuit comes. That's the other half. I think that they're going to end up suing NASCAR if they don't.
I recognize that that's a decision that they may have made, but I also recognize that it's a dumbass decision that they shouldn't have made. Because even if you're telling me that you're mad about that, do you realize that you got more attention for that? Like, again, you have to make a decision, and let's just use some common sense, real world logic regarding just the waivers themselves. All right, we're not going to talk about Kyle's choice, because I can understand if you want to say like that's not a good look or whatever, but it's the Indy 500, bro. It's the Indy 500. Yes, they do give a damn, because if they didn't give a damn, they wouldn't have promoted it for a year and a half. They gave a damn then. They said it was a big deal then. Well, they talked about how prestigious it was then.
More so than NASCAR does.
Look,
which is why we ran a Coca-Cola 600 kilometers and not a Coke 600 miles. Stay tuned for more conspiracy theories.
It's just so dumb. I'm sorry. Like, it's so stupid. Like, what are we doing here? Like I said, you can go out there and turn a guy into a wall at 150 miles an hour, no problem. You know, Denny could have potentially missed multiple weeks, and I guarantee you, if he did because of injury, he'd have got a waiver. So now you've got the victim and the perpetrator getting the same reward. They both getting waivers out of it for a crime being committed during a game. Like, again, unless it's written, and if it's written, then you need to share that what does and doesn't qualify for a waiver publicly with the media, the fans, everything. NASCAR used to always, and they started doing it again recently, if a part got confiscated or whatever, they'd come out and they'd show you it and they'd tell you what part was wrong or whatever, which is great. But you have to have a modicum of transparency. Like, you are the sanctioning body of a major sport. Act like it. Quit acting like a bunch of guys sitting around in like a smoking lounge somewhere, just making decisions based off your emotions. Grow up. Give them the damn waiver. We can all move on about our lives, because I guarantee you, no one's going to look at NASCAR coming out of this and be like, damn, you know what? Good on NASCAR. They really showed Kyle Larson. They really showed HMS, you know, like those pesky HMS boys always getting on our nerves, giving us ratings and a lot of money and a lot of attention. You know, we really put our thumb down. You listen, you saw what happened when Chase Elliott didn't come to those races. Them ratings dropped. HMS gives that sanction body more money than any other single team in the field. So, like, no one's looking at NASCAR if they come out and like, we're not going to give you a waiver. We're not going to let you compete for a championship. No one's going to be like, they did the right thing. They really stood up to them. They really showed them who's boss. They're all going to think the same thing. That's really effing stupid. And you need to grow up. So the biggest corporate sized, lights too bright, NASCAR, again, please just do the right thing. So we can all move on. And I tell you, if Larson was my guy, man, I'd be coming up to Charlotte with picket.
Lord.
Man, and some tiki torches, bro. I'd be up there.
Okay.
Mute this man. Fonte, who's your
I'm the host. You can't mute me.
Oh, you just what? It's also can it? May I ask? Can it be outside of NASCAR?
Sure.
Yeah, you already know what time it is. My light's too bright. It's Noodlehead, Santino Ferrucci from IndyCar, continue to be an absolute ass on the track in Detroit. Saturday on practice, you ran into Kyle Kirkwood and tried to fight him. Bro, you started the whole wreck. Oh, not only that, he did the same thing to Konahura. Talking shit about both of them. Talking about it's their boyfriends. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah,
like, what are you doing? And this is exactly why you was banned from F2. I think it's F2. Yeah, you was banned from Formula 2, my boy. You trash. You garbage. Oh man, Jesus Christ, man! And then not only that, you wreck Helio. today. Like, bro, I'm at this point. You are part of the hate train with Corey LaJoy and Austin Dillon. So welcome. You suck. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Well, moving on. Quick fantasy update. Forgot it last week. We're gonna talk about it this week because I won. I'm back. I'm so back. I'm so back.
Congratulations. You want a cookie?
I do actually, because this is the first time in 3 weeks I've remembered to change my lineup. So I won a race when I pay attention. I'm coming back for this championship. So I won with Christopher Bell, Michael McDowell, Brad Keselowski, William Byron, and Austin Cindric because he won the race. I'll post a link on Twitter for all of our listeners if you want to get on the fun, join our fantasy group. Prizes, the whole nine, this, that, and the third. We're doing it big. We might do something big. Well, no, it'll be the end of the season when fantasy's done. But we're doing something big when it gets to 1,000 followers. We're still doing that. The race to 1K on the Twitters. Tell your friends, tell your mammy, tell your Grammy. Follow us, like us, subscribe to us, listen to us. We'd love that. Open mic. Excuse me. We'll do something happy, then I'll do something not so much. Want to give a shout out to my little cousin Connor Ray. Won his senior champ cart race this weekend up at Blairsville Speedway. So shout out to the young kid doing big things in the carts. And then we wanted to talk about this charter sitch. So Parker's interviewed Denny. Parker's interviewed Brad. Sorry, not Bob. He can't interview himself. Or maybe he can. Anyway, apparently NASCAR sent them, I guess, part 3 of their charter offer, and Denny said it was absolute dog water. So I don't think we're anywhere close to getting anything resolved. It's June 2nd. You have a team folding at the end of the year. There's 4 charters in play, and no one knows how much they're worth until NASCAR can figure out the best thing for this series to succeed and move forward is to quit being greedy and share some of that TV money. Although the major franchises, the franchises make a cut of the TV deal, then they get a cut. All the teams get a cut. NFL, all the teams get a cut. Major League Soccer, all the teams get a cut. What are you doing? F1, all the teams get a cut. Share. If you're making revenue from the tracks and the tickets sold and the merchandise, just be fair. You're the team we just spent like half an hour ranting about, Hendrick Motorsports. If they haven't profited in this sport the entire time they've been in this sport, an issue, a huge issue, a gigantic issue. Legacy team, 4-car team, money out the wazoo. They're literally burning money. It's like they're smoking cigars, they're just burning it up. Like it's not coming back. That's a problem. It's June 2nd. Oh goodness, sorry y'all. Still getting over this cold, but you gotta come to terms with you're not gonna win. The team owners are smarter now. The team owners have smart lawyers, and the team owners have examples as to where every other major sporting league in the United States and overseas, it's a happier life when you share the wealth. So go ahead and do that. Dictated, not read. Management.
VLV MGMT. Yeah, they got to get it done, right? Like at some point, I just think it's going to go until the 11th hour. I think it goes all the way until
That's stupid. I'll say that's it, like there's no point to drag this out. You literally have 4 charters. 4 of them. They're either worth 5 cents or $40 million. And it's literally up to NASCAR to determine what the future looks like with the charter system, which determines the value of an entire race team. If you want new eyes on your sport, why drag it out? Knock this out. Make money off of who buys the charters. make money publicizing all of the new eyes and ears and sponsors that can come into the sport. Just quit being greedy.
I mean, I just talked for like 15 minutes about the people in charge of the sport doing something that didn't make any sense. And now you tell me you want them to do something that makes sense? You have unrealistic expectations.
I do.
I think it's
you
going to
got
take
2 weeks to think about it when we ain't doing nothing because the Olympic break coming up. So y'all need to quit playing.
It's gonna go to the last minute. Can you imagine? I said this when we talked about charters before, but imagine we get to Phoenix and it's not done.
Dog.
Phoenix goes. Look, Phoenix. Just imagine the scene, y'all. Like we're sitting there, Phoenix is over, NBC signing off, and everyone's looking around like, oh, this might be it. We might not be coming back. Like, I hope it doesn't. This is one of those you laugh through the pain because it's a nervous laugh, but I hope they figure it out because I hate it for the sport. Like, I jokingly tweeted the other week, like, let's become an F1 podcast just because, like, I'm so sick of these people making these decisions in charge of the sport sometimes. But, like, I want the sport to continue to grow and get better, as a fan, for the other fans who watch it, for all the people that work on it, they just got to figure it out. So, yeah, hopefully it gets done. I have something I was going to add. This is a topic switch, if that's okay.
I don't care. It's open mic.
All right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't want to step on toes. So, yeah, we have our race to 1K. Or is it a race to 1K or march to 1K? What are we calling it?
Racing. Hashtag race to 1K.
Okay. Hashtag race to 1K. So, at press time, let me look at it so I make sure I can.
I think it's 667 or something.
Oh, no. Oversold it. It was 665. Someone must have heard you.
You bitch.
I'm leaving that in. I'm not beeping that.
You shouldn't.
So we've got some prizes lined up. We're gonna raffle off for each threshold point. So we reached 700. I got a little Dale package for Dale Senior. We're doing it for Dale, for the greatest 7-time champion in the history of the sport, in my opinion. And since I do the prizes, I get to decide. So
that's true.
So 700, we're doing a little something for Dale that will send out to people. When we hit 800, we're going to do a little HMS thing. So I got some Jeff Gordon, some Jimmy Johnson stuff in the mix. For her 900, we're going to do... We're not, but we're going to be doing some... I mean, you could chip in whatever you want, but...
If you got Tony Stewart shit...
Yeah, I'm keeping my Tony Stewart stuff, but I still I can do.
So why you suggest? You know what?
I see what I can do.
Continue.
I see what I can do.
As soon as it comes time to put some up. Anyway, for the people, for 900, I'm just going to go ahead and say it now, so I'll keep me accountable. We're gonna do some Black Excellence. So they got a couple things lined up, like around certain 8-time Formula One champions. And other certain NASCAR not NASCAR champions. I'm sorry, I misspoke. NASCAR racers. So we have a little prize pack for that, and then for 1,000, I'm finalizing deets, so I'm not gonna say it, but y'all, it's good.
Big.
It's real big. I ain't gonna listen. I'm a hard cuss one time in this episode. I'm gonna leave it in anyway because it's late. I ain't gonna bullshit y'all. This big. It's real big. So I'm once it's final, I'm gonna tweet it out on the pod so y'all know about it. But the pieces are going in place. I just want to tease that out there. And for each person that wins the raffle for that level, we're gonna send you a pod shirt as well. So we got the new shop up. So that's on. If you look in our Twitter bio, we got the link if you want to get some merch ahead of time. We got hats, hoodies, T-shirts, magnets, all that cool fun stickers. Stuff. So if you want to rep us out in the street, stickers, thank you. So whoever wins for each of those levels, you'll also get a pod shirt. We'll be getting you sizes and get you some decked out and some VLV swag. So I'm very excited about this because I love gift giving. I think that's my love language, is gift giving. So even though I don't know you yet, whoever you mystery winners are, raffle winners, I hope that you love the stuff that we're putting together for you, because I love our fans and you support us and we want to give back to you. So it's on the way. it's up to y'all at this point. Like, I got most of the stuff, so as soon as we hit the threshold, I raffle it off. We pick a winner, and I'll be in your DMs that night. So stay tuned, and yeah, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers, tell your mama, your daddy, your auntie, and your uncle. Give us some love. We appreciate you.
So not only that, and I'm gonna make sure that we broadcast this episode enough so we get the listeners so y'all can understand what's going on. June 12th is our anniversary of our existence. It's the anniversary of our first episode when Fox was done, aptly named because the time is coming again. I'm gonna put out a Google form, and we're gonna do a drawing in a random name generator. And if you win on the anniversary episode, I'm announcing it live on the anniversary episode, so we got to put this out in a couple weeks. You get race tickets. We're giving away 2 tickets to a race of your choosing.
Talk to them.
We're giving away. We are here for the people. We love NASCAR. Obviously, we love you guys. We love our listeners. We love our fans. So we sending you
Yes, sir.
Courtesy of Victory Lane Vibes. You get 2 tickets. You get 2 T-shirts. You and your friend, or your wife, or your brother, or your sister, or your cousin, or your significant other, your dog, whomever. Yeah, we sending y'all to the race, courtesy of Victory Lane Vibes. So, like we mentioned last episode, we're here. We're going to continue to be here, and now you get to experience a NASCAR race, courtesy of the Vibes.
I mean, who does it better?
Way. That's a pretty good way to end a damn episode, if I say
Yes,
so.
sir.
We're
Wait.
giving you prizes on prizes on prizes, and all you got to do is tell your friends, tell your mama, and put your name in this Google form, and we got you from there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be remiss if we didn't shout out our beautiful, wonderful, amazing partners at Home Field. You can't see this one. This one won't be on video, but Art and I got on this butanimous Home Field apparel.
Make that 3 of us.
3 of us. We
Yes,
can't see
sir.
Monte, but
got that good old Arrow McLaren shirt on.
Oh yeah.
Too comfortable. Love it. Fire. Go get you some merch from them.
Go get you some merch. We spent half the episode talking about Hendrick. You know, I was dying to have this Tim Richmond stuff, and I never take it off. I take showers in it. It feels amazing. Super soft, super high quality. It won't fade. That's absolutely disgusting. Please don't do that. I wash my clothes, but the shirt is really soft.
All right. Please use the code. I got it for you, but I'm gonna tag you out. Use the code VLV24 for 15% off at Home Field. Get yourself some swag. I'm currently rocking the Taste of Victory milk for the Indy 500 shirt.
Milk.
I love the milk shirt. I appreciate the Home Field people for making it. It's actually legit comfortable.
Yes, sir.
I shout them out every week because it's actually legit. Like we
legit.
told them, we were like, hey, look, we ain't gonna lie. So if your stuff ain't up to stuff, we gonna tell the people, but they come correct. So make sure you give them a look. And I'm gonna go ahead and wrap us here. I think if that's
Wait, before you do that, it is June. Happy Prime Month to y'all, and happy Juneteenth.
We're gonna be here for Juneteenth.
We're gonna come back before Juneteenth, brother.
Oh, obviously,
we got something cooked up for Juneteenth. You know, in the room.
Oh yeah. Y'all heard what the man said.
This man, he take a hiatus and come back and spilled 4 recipes in 1 episode.
Oh, shut up, bro.
We love you.
We losing recipes.
Oh, y'all too.
Glad you're back.
Yes, sir.
Everybody's missed Bonte, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap here. Thank you for enjoying another episode of Victory Lane Vibe. Shout out Home Field. Shout out all these prizes you about to win. Shout out this race y'all about to go to. And we will be back next week to dance on Fox's grave because this is their last race. Until then, play my music.
We out.
See ya.